this chariot. This is the most important aspect of Kathopanishad teachings. I might not have this slide up again and again, so if you've not drawn it, you might be a little confused. However, project it again. You have not drawn it yet. So we stopped yesterday on chapter 1, section 2, at the verse where he says that you cannot get this wisdom through logic. You have to be firm in your resolve. Only by that grace of inner self-inquiry can you get to that truth of Brahman. You cannot get there by speculating, by intellectualizing, by philosophizing. Intense self-inquiry that I will do for myself. Somebody else doing the inquiry cannot benefit me. I will have to make the effort. That is where we stopped yesterday. Yama recognizes that Nachiketa is qualified to receive this knowledge because he has this quality. He is ready to make that effort. He chose to go the path of Shreya instead of Priya. For example, I described yesterday going towards consciousness in motion, where there's money, name, fame, running towards all that would be going towards the path of Priya, that which is pleasant. He did not choose that. He chose consciousness at rest. Means what? You tell me the highest truth, he said. I don't want all this money, name, fame. So he did not choose consciousness in motion. He chose consciousness at rest. And when he chose that, he qualified. That is why Yama changes his decision and is now ready only because Nachiketa chose consciousness at rest. So yesterday I gave you a little assignment to go within and figure out, am I a patra? Patra means, do I have the ability to contain the wisdom, to do the self-inquiry? Do I have the interest in myself so much so that I can really dive into effort that is required to remove these blinders which are sitting in front of my wisdom eye? Somebody else cannot come and remove the blinders for me. It will not work. I have to do it. When that bhavana starts developing within you, when that sense of responsibility towards your own spiritual path starts developing in you, then you are the right candidate. Yeah? So now Nachiketa is the right candidate. So now Yama begins the self-inquiry after determining that this is the right candidate for this kind of self-inquiry. So let's begin what that self-inquiry is really. That self-inquiry is related to Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana, the wake, dream and sleep exploration. This entire Kathopanishad will constantly take you back to wake, dream and sleep again and again. So instead of getting there when the verse comes up, let's start working on it right now. In this Upanishad, he says that you have projected everything. You can take one way of believing it because it is said in the Upanishad. Those who have walked the path of belief have realized how far you could get with belief. That is why I insist that a sincere spiritual seeker must take the path of direct experience. direct self-inquiry and getting there by oneself rather than taking the path of belief. The Dvaitam path, the path of duality, says you believe it because it is written in the scripture. Yeah, but that doesn't work, because eventually you go back to this waking world and there you are lost again in that which is pleasant. Now you have to attempt to see that which is beyond even deep sleep. When I'm lost here, I am limiting myself here. How will I go beyond? How will I go beyond? It's not possible. And going beyond deep sleep, I will not even venture in that direction because I have decided this is reality. Only the one who starts recognizing, no, this cannot be real, this cannot be the complete truth. Not that this is false, it is an illusion. There's a difference between false and illusion. False means it is not there. Illusion means it appears and it disappears. That is the difference between the two. Clear? Advaita Vedanta at the highest level shows you that everything is an illusion. It is a mitya. Mitya is different from Maya. Maya is the cosmic illusion. That which is the mother of mitya. Maya is unmanifest. Yes. Mithya is manifest. I can see the spouse, I can see the parent, I can see the progeny, I can see the name, fame, money, but I don't understand the mechanism how this appears and disappears. Clear? So seeing all this comes under mithya. The mechanism, how it appears and disappears, how there is no time, the mechanism of it promising sukha, happiness to me, but in the end only delivering dukkha, suffering. I'm just not able to see that. The unmanifest part of that is the cosmic illusion, the Maya. That can be understood only by direct experience. Somebody else understanding Maya on my behalf is not going to help my spiritual journey. Is that very clear? I have to see it. For example, small little thing. When I project, I don't project just what I want, I also project its opposite. For example, I want to eat triple chocolate ice cream. Simple, silly desire. I didn't want to make it a big one. Simple, silly desire. At the same time, I project, what if I don't get an opportunity to step out today and go get myself that ice cream? I project both opposites together, simultaneously, with equal intensity. And I give you a very simple example that would apply to all. Apply that at a personal level. Whenever you have projected something positive, you have projected the opposite, fear of what if this does not happen in equal intensity. Do you realize that? So projection happens through me, and I don't know how I land up projecting both the positive and the negative in equal intensity. This projection itself, this direct experience of recognizing that I project, this itself shows me there is something higher, the cosmic illusion at play here. And that is the one that is determining that how much craving comes up, that much only fear appears. We did that yesterday. There is only one arising in any given moment. There is only one arising in any given moment. I have a craving, I want this. You put whatever the label is for the this. Immediately follows the fear, what if this does not happen? Do you recognize that? I don't understand the mechanism of this. I don't understand how after the craving, the fear follows immediately. I only see the wave appear and disappear. So that which appears and disappears is the illusion or the mithya aspect of it at the individual or the microcosm level. At the macrocosm level, at the cosmic level, the mechanism, what brought suddenly the craving and immediately what brought the fear, that is not visible to me. Yeah, such a simple thing, understanding the difference between Maya and Mithya. This arising is the Mithya, that which made this arising come up. That unmanifest power, that is the Maya. Such a simple thing. Only I can see. Somebody else seeing it on my behalf and telling me it is like this will not work. Ekta sees it, that's good enough. Will that work? No, it will not work. You will have to see these waves with respect to your own spouse, your own progeny, your own parent, your own money, your own house. You will have to recognize again and again that the purpose of the wave, the mithya, is to deliver suffering. And it is doing its job perfectly. That is direct experience. It promises to deliver pleasure. It comes up, like the magician comes up with a nice illusory magic trick. The child gets captivated. You get captivated at the peak of the arising. And very soon it disappears. Your hands are left empty. You want that arising to be there, but now it is not there. Now it is only in memory. Do you see this? I'm not just saying for pleasant things, even for unpleasant things. Unpleasant example, spouse enters the room, says some harsh words, leaves. Arising appeared, peaked, disappeared. But what happens? Does it really disappear? This is where I want it to go away, but does it go? No, it stays in the memory. The memory now sits and churns and churns and churns. That churning is dukkha, is suffering. That is not caused by the reality. That is caused by you, who has forgotten what is reality. Do you see this? Ekta seeing the truth on my behalf cannot get me out of my churning, out of my suffering. I will have to see this truth again and again, that it is only a wave. Doesn't matter if it's a wave of praise or a wave of blame. It is a wave. Memory is just fudged in between, the gap between two waves. And it is a skill. Yeah? To see this and to be with it is a skill that you will have to work on. You cannot say, oh, I will just understand this wisdom and automatically it will start happening. No. I can play the guitar in front of you. I played it. Now you start playing. You will say, no, I'll have to practice. That's exactly what the path is. You are so used to fudging the gaps between two arisings with memory and calling it a continuous waking state, that you will have to make the effort of erasing this story now. Nobody else can do it for you. You must recognize that the gap between two arisings are fudged with a memory story. And to realize that is a skill that I must work on. If somebody learns to play the guitar in 1 month, somebody takes 5 months, somebody takes 5 years. Yeah? Nobody can predict when are you going to become the rock star. Nobody can, not even you. Yeah? Therefore, the sign of a sincere spiritual seeker is his earnestness. Yes, I am earnest. I will just focus on recognizing what is reality, and I will weed out the illusion out of it. Yeah? The illusory part. Yeah? One by one, I will recognize with respect to the parent, the progeny, the spouse, the house, the family, the events, the office, what is mitya, what is illusion, and I will keep weeding it out with discipline, continuously, without giving up. This is the meaning of nurturing that particular skill. So now Yama finds out Nachiketa is eligible. He has the earnestness. He has that fire within him to know the highest truth. And for that, he can give up all these mundane little things here and there. Yeah? His focus is like that horse who's worn blinders, who does not look right and left, who's very clearly one-pointed. The question is, are you one-pointed? If you are, then you can begin this self-inquiry. What is the main part of this self-inquiry? The main part is recognizing, who am I truly? Who am I? So to begin the self-inquiry, first, in the waking, I continuously recognize I am the witnessing awareness field. I witness this body-mind person. First start at very gross level. The person is eating, recognizing I am not eating, I am knowing that the person is eating. The person is walking, recognizing I am the one that is knowing the person is walking. The person is doing some activity, cleaning, cooking, working on the computer, going to office, driving, grocery shopping, knowing what is happening continuously. This was called on the Buddha's path mindfulness. Mindfulness means what? Continuously knowing which arising has appeared, peaked, and is now on its way out. Again there will be another arising, knowing which arising has appeared, peaked, and it's on its way out. Just knowing. There is nothing else to do. Simply know reality as it is. Why is this a prerequisite? Why is witnessing a prerequisite? Because only then will I realize what am I truly. If I am unconscious, lost in the pleasures of the waking, I will never see the reality of who or what am I. I will always believe to be the person. And I will always believe this person in this world, this is reality. Fine, if that works for you, it's perfect. But for those who have realized this cannot be it, there has to be something more. For those few chosen ones, the path is laid. Start recognizing that you are the witness of this person. You are not this person. Okay? You started doing it in mundane activities. You'll start seeing a point will come where you will witness every thought, every feeling. You will know it the moment it comes up. Beautiful pointers start appearing. They are called insights. Insight means my own personal direct seeing, not borrowed from Ekta, not borrowed from the Upanishad, not borrowed from any other sage, any other sannyasi. I see. Suddenly you will recognize things like a thought appears, and then I know that the thought appeared. Oh, if I were the thinker, I should have known that this thought is going to appear. The thought appeared, it peaked. Now I want that thought to go away. It's an annoying thought, but I cannot push it away. Oh, I am not the thinker. If I were the thinker, the thought would be under my control. Similar insights start happening towards feelings. Suddenly a feeling comes up and you're wondering, from where did this feeling come up? Why am I feeling like this? And then if you get lost in your old story, you will start trying to find a cause and effect in the waking. But if you pull out to the witnessing, you will recognize, yeah, I recognize feeling somewhere 1/4 way up. The wave has started and 1/4 way up, I recognize it, peaks, and a point comes when it recedes. So it's just like a wave. It's not permanent. And the most important thing, I was not feeling it. It had already arisen till the midway of the wave, till half the part, 3/4 of the part, and suddenly I realized there is a feeling, which means what? There was a little part of the wave where the feeling was, but I was not truly experiencing it, which means I am not the experiencer. I cannot suddenly become the experiencer at the peak level and not be the experiencer at the beginner and at beginning point of the wave and the end point of the wave. That doesn't make any sense, which means I identified with it. Now when you start really going deeper into self-inquiry, you see, oh, I identify with it. I am not it. Now you start understanding what is asmita. Asmita means I am not that, I pretend to be that for a little while, and I also come out of my pretense. And how this pretense happens and it also wears off, I have not been able to figure that out. Why? Because I have not been aware enough that I am pretending. I have not had the courage to acknowledge to myself that I have been pretending. Can I now courageously start looking at it? Yeah? So now the higher level of witnessing begins in the waking itself. This is all waking. And now you start acknowledging, yes, I pretend to be this person. Can I not pretend? And you start staying away, and a point comes when you start seeing the body-mind works automatically as if it is a machine. And the machine is programmed to do this and this and this and this, and I don't even know it's going to do that. I make a big decision. Okay, now I am going to get up and go for a shower. You see the body getting out of bed, walking towards the bathroom door, and suddenly it takes a right and leaves the room and you're in the kitchen. You lie, I changed my mind. No, you did not change your mind. The body automatically did what it was programmed to do. That is called the natural arising from the flow. It's a wave. The body was meant to go out, pick up something. It was programmed already. Maybe it was programmed to go pick up the mail from the mailbox, put it in its right place, and then go use the shower. There are so many instances like this that happen to you during the day, but you brush it aside and you lie to yourself, I changed my mind. The reality is, even you were surprised in the first moment that it did not go towards the bathroom and it went outside towards the kitchen and out the door. This needs to be overcome. This is a skill. Do you recognize this? Slowly, slowly, I am removing that conditioning that I am the thinker, I am the feeler, I am the doer, I am the decision maker. I am removing all these by my own seeing of the reality. I am not borrowing something that is written in the Upanishad. I am not borrowing something that Ekta said. It is happening. Yes, and I start seeing it. This is how self-inquiry begins, just by the first step of recognition. I am the witness of this person. I am not this person. Clear? Now this inquiry starts deepening in the waking automatically. You will know every thought. You will know every feeling. You will be very clear. I am not the thinker of the thought. I am not the feeler of this feeling. I am not the doer of this action. It is happening automatically. But there are moments in between two natural arisings where I create a story. And I create a story that I changed my mind and first went out, picked up the mail, and then went to the bathroom. This is a fudged story which I inserted in between two arisings, in the gap between two arisings. This is the next level of seeing. Now you start seeing, oh, I do this, I create a story and I believe the story. Can I work on the skill of negating this story the moment I create it? Those that I have created in the past might be very hard to work on right now because I can't see the gap and the fudged story of the past. But I can see it now. I give you a very simple example. A simple example of body wanting to walk towards the bathroom but walking out towards the kitchen. Such a simple example. The same thing happens with decisions. Let's do this. You decide as a family we will do A, but automatically B is happening. You see that also? So many things, not just in doing, in being a part of an event. You decide, okay, this is what we are going to do at this event. You plan A, B, C, D, create a long Excel sheet. Everything is perfectly planned. You decide, we will do this. Next is this. Okay, now it's time to do this. Step number 13. And there step number 17 comes up. Automatically. Like that. In every little thing, in events, in relationships, in family drama, in office work, in basics of how the body-mind person operates, I start focusing on recognizing this fudged story. And then I have to negate it. Nobody else can do this work for me. Do you realize where the effort lies? Listening to 1,000 talks of Ekta will not cut it. You will have to work on your story because your waking story is yours. You created it. Yeah? So once you start working on that to this depth level, and now you start negating the fudged story out, all the gaps are clean. What do I see in the gaps? What is my reality? I start recognizing that the gaps are cleaner, softer, quieter. There is just alive nothingness there. Just an awareness of I exist. Not I exist as Ekta, not I exist as a person, not I exist as a man, not I exist as a woman. I exist. Period. That is your foot into the door. You have realized what is the meaning of witnessing awareness in your own direct seeing. And now that you have learned to clean up the gaps, I say it poetically, you have actually squeezed through the gaps to the background and realized that the consciousness at rest is the reality, is not just the background, it's the space above, below, everywhere. That is what is reality. In that, these arisings of parent, progeny, spouse, family event, money, loss, gain, all these are just arisings that appear, disappear, appear, disappear, appear, disappear. Reality is this. This recognition is precious, very important. First, it happens in the waking. Now, please know, Ekta has articulated it in so many words right now. You're not going to see it in words. It's just a recognition of emptiness right here, right now, with the scene of the room, with the scene of the family members, with the emptiness being like a tsunami wave that engulfs everything. Everything appears and disappears. Now you start seeing that every arising is wiped away by the wiper of the now. This is a higher level of seeing, not visible immediately. I see the arising appears, it peaks and it disappears, and I recognize immediately there is the wiper of the now that comes and wipes away this arising. Again, the next arising appears, peaks, disappears. Again, the wiper of the now comes, wipes it away. And this process continues. The reality is the background. Okay, I don't know how this works. You got the point. The reality is the white background. This nothingness, this emptiness, this is the reality. So once you come to this recognition that everything gets wiped away, everything gets wiped away, now you start playing the game. Now you start recognizing, okay, now this spouse or progeny or parent has entered the room. Can I just watch? Can I observe what happens? Something happens, some words are said, some action is done, something goes on, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, whatever happens. And each arising gets wiped away, wiped away, wiped away. All I am left with is the nothingness, the emptiness. Now I start understanding I am the empty, alive, conscious background. On me, arisings appear and they disappear. Again they come and they go. Now I'll give you a little experiment. You are intently listening to Ekta. Observe, there is thought, it comes and it goes. Ekta says a sentence, a repetition happens in the mind, the echo comes and it goes. Now, when Ekta will mention something, that will arise, which has still not arisen. Observe. Become aware of your so-called person. See, the body arising appeared. You became aware of solidity and consolidation here. Do you recognize that? And in a moment it will disappear. It was not there before when Ekta was talking about the thought, when Ekta was talking about the repetition of the sound. Suddenly when she addressed this person, the body arising appeared and it disappeared. Observe this. If I were this body, how could I know the point before when the body arising was not there? How could I know the point where the body arising came? I felt I am the body, and then again after it disappears, how can I go back to something, a state where there is no body arising? What does this truth reveal? I am not the body. Now, this becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. I'm zooming through the series of self-inquiry steps that will happen. I hope you're realizing this. It's not going to all happen in one session. I'm zooming through years of self-inquiry for you. You will come to a point where you start recognizing, wow, I am this alive, empty background in which suddenly this body arising is felt. If there is pain, discomfort, comfort, feeling of heaviness, consolidation, all that is recognized. And it goes away also. If it goes away, I am still there. It means I am not the body. Similarly, thought comes, it's bugging me, it's annoying, I don't want this thought. Go away, I don't want this thought. It doesn't go away when I want it to go. And suddenly, when the body is busy in something, now the thought has suddenly vanished away. When I wanted it to go, it wouldn't go. It went of its own accord. That proves to me I am that which was there before the thought arising. I was there during the thought arising, and I am here. Now the thought arising is not there. Oh, I am not the thought. I am not the thought. I am not the mind. Mind is nothing but thought or feeling. Okay? So this recognition starts happening moment to moment, moment to moment, moment to moment by just observing the arisings. And you become very clear, oh, I am the witnessing awareness field. I'm only pretending to be Ekta. I am not Ekta. I cannot be Ekta. Now comes the most important part. I have zoomed through a lot of months of witnessing here. Now comes the most important part. The witnessing continues through the waking and becomes so one-pointed. You're constantly in witnessing. You never get confused. You always know who you are. Truly, you know you are not the body-mind person. There's no more confusion. A point comes, naturally the witnessing now starts seeping into the dream. Now I recognize in the dream that I am dreaming. These glimpses have come to you before. It's not that you have not had these glimpses. Not a single person here can say that, no, I've never had a glimpse of knowing in the dream that I was dreaming. No, you have had a glimpse, definitely. Each one of you. So reality knocked on my door earlier also, but I ignored it. Now, because my witnessing has strengthened in the waking, it automatically started seeping into the dream. And now I see in the dream that I am the witness. Oh, I am there when the dream scene comes up. The dream scene doesn't matter, whatever the dream scene is. Let's see, can I find a dream? Nightmare. I have nightmares on this side and I have all pleasant dreams on this side. Doesn't matter what the scene is. The dream scene comes up, it disappears. I still remain. I am that quiet background that knew the quietness before this dream appeared, and I am that quiet background which remains after the dream disappears. Oh, that means I am not that dream character that was trying to save myself from that nightmare And I'm not that dream character that was enjoying some pleasantness. No. I was only knowing an arising. Now you start seeing every dream is also an arising. There's either sight. If you're a visual dreamer, there will be sight. If you are just a verbal dreamer, there will be only shabda, sound. Yeah? Thought is shabda. I hope that is very clear. So now you start seeing only one wave after another, after another, after another. You become so clear, this is my reality. I am the background screen on which these scenes appear and disappear. Yeah, they are only arisings. Yeah, the word arising has been chosen for this reason, because it appears, it peaks and it disappears. If you don't like the word arising, use the word wave. It appears, peaks and disappears. When you start recognizing, I am the quiet witnessing background and nothing else, nothing else. Now, what happens is the most precious knowledge. You automatically become the background in deep sleep. In deep sleep, you recognize the most essential thing. That which was calling itself I, that which was saying I exist in the waking and I exist in the dream. It was saying I am separate from the waker. It was saying I am separate from the dream character. That in the deep sleep knows nothingness. There is nothing happening here. That knows that there is absolute peace, and the peace is because of the absence of somethingness. And in that peace, the same I exist chooses to rest, chooses to relax. It's like a baby sleeping in the mother's lap when it becomes very comfortable. The I chooses to rest or relax or collapse. It collapses into the nothingness and becomes the nothingness. You call it deep sleep. It is a little window actually. It's not deep sleep. Initial part is deep sleep where you're knowing the nothingness. There is a part where the one that was knowing the nothingness has collapsed and become one with the mother. The baby has become one with the mother. The wave has merged into the ocean. The I has collapsed. And then again the I comes back and there is another little part where nothingness is known. The part in the middle was given the name I by Ramana Maharshi. It's called Pure Consciousness and the path of Advaita Vedanta. It's called the Primordial Awareness by Nisargadatta Maharaj, and so on. There are many different labels given in different languages by different sages. That cannot be directly perceived. That cannot be directly known. You know that you are that because the I collapsed. You know you are that because the I arose. Who saw it collapse? Who saw it arise? Oh, naturally, I am that. That's how the self-inquiry takes you to the last destination. The supreme truth is now realized. It cannot be known. That is why it's not said that the truth is known. It is a realization. Realization of what? My own true self. Yeah. Now I laid down the entire map for you about how to get there. But by listening to this, can you get there? No. By listening to this, you only get the conviction. If a lay person can get there, even I can get there. I don't have to run away to the Himalayas, wear a saffron robe and suppress myself and force myself to do anything. No. With a simple inquiry, simple earnestness, pure love for knowing myself can take me there. It's Simple, very simple. I described only a few pointers along the path. There are a zillion such insights that will happen. Those insights have been mentioned in the Swapna Nidra Jnana Sadhana books. There are 2 books. You can get those and start working on yourself. But please again realize it is a skill. It needs to be nurtured. Now when I start nurturing this skill, what starts happening is I start understanding what is this illusion called the world. You will not understand this illusion called the world unless you get at least one proper glimpse of being the witness of the waking, dream and deep sleep. One glimpse is sufficient for you to start working on recognizing that this waking world is mithya. This waking world is an illusion. That is why many people try to first start the Jagat Mithya journey. They want to see everything as an illusion. I tell them, wait, not possible. First you have to get out of the idea that I am this body-mind person. This idea itself is wrong. This idea itself is illusory. You cannot see Jagat Mithya without seeing Brahman Satyam first. It's a prerequisite. You cannot say, no, you show me first Jagat is Mithya, then I will start walking the path of Brahman Satyam. Then we are stuck in a catch-22 loop. It's never going to get resolved. So very important to get that first glimpse. I am the witness in the waking. I am the witness in the dream. Oh, I am the witness in deep sleep too. Just one glimpse is sufficient. Then it will multiply, of course. But that first initial glimpse gives me something called self-conviction, Shraddha. Shraddha is an important aspect on this path. Now the Shraddha is not on what somebody else said or what is written in the Upanishads. The Shraddha is on my own direct seeing. Oh, I saw it. Wow. I have the ability to walk this path. That's all that is required. That little bit of conviction in your own self. You are responsible for that. Nobody else can put it into your lap, into your hands. No. You are completely responsible for that, and you must have that interest and the earnestness to walk. Now, the special thing in Nachiketa is he recognizes that he is the witness. I brought you to a point where Nachiketa already is. The question arises, he's a little kid, how does he know? He's not so little that he cannot understand this. In ancient times, what we are studying here now as adults was actually taught at the school level. This was part of the curriculum, the study curriculum. So, obviously, the people in ancient times were ahead of us where this knowledge is concerned. So, Nachiketa has this ability to recognize, oh, I am the witness, I am not this body-mind person called Nachiketa. So this qualified him for Yama to start speaking. And what Yama starts speaking is this particular slide. We will do that after the break. So those who have not yet drawn it, you don't have to be artistic and draw such a beautiful sketch. You can draw a simple chariot. The labeling is important because you see I'm sitting right in front of it. You will not be able to see the labels, all of them. So it's important that you have it in front of you in the book so that you can refer to it for the entire next section's discussion. Okay. So we'll take a 5-minute break and bio break, and the host can project the slide for us. Those who have not drawn this, please draw it, because it won't be possible for you to see everything. Also a request to all the people, if your cameras are switched off, the hosts will remove you from the session. So please, can you ensure that you keep your cameras on at all times? Doesn't matter, you get up, get your glass of water, whatever you need to do, keep the cameras on. Yeah, and a photograph is not you. The hosts recognize that you put a photograph over there. Okay. So please ensure that your cameras are on. Yeah? And I'll see you in 5 minutes after a bio break.